Peace, love, and light. Welcome to Alchemy Soul, a space for honest conversations about transformation, spiritual awakening, and the messy process of becoming who you really are. I am your host, Marquita, and this is obviously my first episode. This space, and my intention for this space is to allow my creativity, my experience, my journey to be a catalyst, to be an influence for so many other people. I love speaking. I love writing. I am a self-published author, and I'm currently working on my second book and also rewriting my first book. And I am a dreamer, right? I'm a dreamer, big dreams, and I'm a doer. Right? So I actually have the courage to pursue my dreams, although it takes me a really long time sometimes to get there. Even for this, in this moment in time, just sitting with the fact that I am actually doing the thing, right? I know that I have a gift for speaking, and I started out doing YouTube videos, in which I love YouTube. I love the creators on YouTube. I love long form content. And so I felt as though YouTube would have been my path for, and I mean, and in a sense, it really is, or really was a path for me to not only practice speaking, but practice being in front of a camera. And so what I did with YouTube, kind of all over the place and kind of just not centered in what I wanted to do. And so that created some inconsistencies. And so, I don't know. This morning at 5 a.m., I was just like, I actually don't need the video. I don't need the video. I don't need anybody to see me. I don't need, I just need my voice. My voice is the only thing that I need. I feel like for a long time, I wanted the perfect, scenario. I wanted the perfect setup. I procrastinated so much on creating content and creating videos because I did not have the aesthetic, or I wasn't looking put together, or whatever the case may be. And I don't know why I am just now realizing that I don't need to be on camera. I think that this is going to be such a safe space, not only for myself, but for whatever community or for whatever people decide to join me over here. I want to create a space where you can come and show up not being perfect, where you can come in and show up being messy, because, baby, listen, if there is one thing that I have learned about this life experience, is it is chaotic, right? It can be really chaotic if we are not present, if we are not mindful, if we are not living in our purpose and living in what we truly enjoy doing. So for me, where I'm at right now in my career and in my purpose and in my path is that I formally, professionally, or whatever that may mean, whatever, I am a social worker. I have my LCSWA, which means that I can practice clinically under the supervision of another fully clinically licensed social worker. I have clinical experience. I have experience doing therapy. I have experience working in hospitals. I have experience working corporate 9-to-5 boring jobs. But what I realize is that is not my purpose. That is not my path. I think that I had to learn very harshly, so to speak. I had to learn that how do I want to say it? I had to learn that the reward and the luck and the manifestations and the things that feel like miracles in my life come from when I do what I enjoy doing, which includes speaking and writing, traveling, teaching, being an influence to others, counseling, but not counseling in a formal way of others, being of counsel, empowering others, helping others remember, that this experience is beautiful if we allow ourselves to just be and to be present and to be mindful. But it took me a long time to get to this point. It took a lot of hardship, a lot of downfalls, a lot of mess. It took a lot of mess for me to even get to this very moment in time. And, some of the things that we'll discuss here, I'm big into astrology. I'm, very deeply spiritual. I like to call myself a free-flowing spiritualist, which means that I pull from all types of spirituality and religions to cultivate my own walk and to empower my own walk in life. But I got into astrology in 2024, and I started to learn about my path and what I was meant to do through astrology. And knowing what you are supposed to do does not necessarily always immediately mean that you're going to do what you are supposed to do. I had this, and I mean, this is a very, common thing amongst a lot of people who are following the dream. I had this very distinct belief that I had to have the foundation, the typical foundation that we have been programmed to believe that we needed in order to be successful. I developed this belief that before I can fully walk in my creativity, before I can fully go after and experience the dream, I had a very distinct belief that I need to go to school, which I did, right? I went straight through. Straight through, all the way from childhood, straight through to my master's. And then I got out and I realized, this is like forever. Like, I have to keep doing this. Like, I have to keep credentialing myself. I have to keep educating myself. And I was like, this is too much. But I realized that, I have to go through school. I wanted to get the job. I wanted to buy the house. I wanted to to do the things to set myself up so that what I believed or had been taught, the foundations of what it meant to be a successful adult, was built. And then I was like, I'm going to go after my purpose. And I'm going to go after my dreams then. But baby, listen. When spirit comes in and it is very loud, especially when you are conscious. And I'm conscious on how I move through life. I'm conscious of what spirit is telling me. I'm conscious of what is going on astrologically. Like, I'm just so deeply aware of everything that is occurring in my life. And let me tell y'all, I'm going to just go back to this last experience, right? Because I have many experiences in which we'll talk about, over the coming episodes. But this last experience was so destabilizing. Is what the word that keeps coming to me. But so very clear that I have no other choice but to at least try. I took a position as a medical social worker in the Bay Area. I took a 6-month contract, which means that the contract was solid and I would have worked the entire 6 months at a specific rate. Mind you, I have not worked for a full year prior to starting this contract. Prior to that, I had not worked like a traditional 9-to-5 for like 4 or 5 years or something like that. I got this position and I was like, yes, this is going to set me up. I started making plans. I started being like, okay, like I can save this amount of money. And then by the time, this happens, then I'll be able to build my credit. And then I'll have, this amount of money saved. And then I can buy a house. And so I just had all of these plans in my mind on what this opportunity, or what I felt like this opportunity was opening up to. I kid you not, you guys. I got into that office and my body said, absolutely not. My body said, no. No. I got sick mid-shift and my stomach got sick. And that was my telltale sign. My stomach is always my telltale sign. I'm a manifesting generator in the sacral. And I'm a Virgo, so also the sacral, the stomach area. It's always my stomach. I was like, okay. I got through the day. The next day I didn't go to work. I called in. And the following day I went back. And I wasn't fully well. That entire week I was not feeling well at all. But I was pushing through because I was like, I got the plan. I got to stay disciplined. I had to stay consistent. This is going to set me up. I kept telling myself I can do really hard things for short periods of time. I can do really hard things for short periods of time. I kept telling myself that. And then I go through the first week, the second week comes in, and, I'm going through training at this point. And then like midweek, there were some things that were being brought to my awareness concerning my performance. And I was like, really? Like, I didn't know. And so the thing about what was being told to me about my performance was not coming directly from anybody who had actually trained me. And so this means that this is like a word of mouth, a thing that's going around in the office that's like, you know, gossipy or whatever the situation may be. I'm like, okay. So I didn't think too much of it. So I continued to go. And, I'm aware now, right? So I'm aware of like what's happening. I'm aware of like the microaggressions. I'm aware of like everything that's occurring now since I've had this conversation. And you guys, I kid you not, that Saturday, I got fired. They terminated my contract with no reason. and what was told to me prior to that, like to that day, which would have been that Friday, it was told to me that other workers had come and said that I refused to be shadowed. And I spoke specifically to those workers, and they did not say that. In addition to, I have a recording, because it's going to escalate, but I have a recording of someone specifically saying in a conversation with the supervisor, we had this kind of conversation. This is what I said. And so it's definitely a discrimination case and discrimination issue that has occurred. And very disheartening, very, very destabilizing. That's what I just keep saying. I'm like, dang, like I've never experienced any kind of like hatred, like I've never experienced like personally, like where it has affected me in my personal life. And I was like, this is crazy, And so I sat with that and I processed it. I'm still processing it. But this is a part of the processing. This is the part where it was like, okay, for one, I came in and I was the catalyst for the change, because soon after, because of everything that occurred, people were able to speak up and have a voice. And then in addition to, because of what occurred, it forced the person that did it into retirement. They forced her into retirement because of the issues that were being brought to light. So I was like, okay, Spirit, I always tell Spirit, like, okay, use me if it's going to be of wellness, if it's going to be of evolution, if it's going to be a benefit, use me. And I was absolutely used in that situation, but it also showed me, for one, Spirit gotta have my back, right? Because something has to be amazing on the other side of something so destabilizing, like something so disheartening and sad, like that has occurred to me. I'm in knowing that I intentionally went in here with so many good intentions. I'm like, okay, definitely Spirit got my back. Things are always working out for me. On the other side of this has to be something grand. That's what I keep saying. I'm like, something on the other side of this is something grand. Of course, the benefit that the office has now, of getting a new supervisor or getting somebody in place of this woman is amazing. That's amazing. I'm happy for them. But I still don't got a job, right? And so for me, this is several lessons, so many lessons. I'm the catalyst for change. I was, I was told by my body that I wasn't supposed to be there, but I was going against it, right? And I've spent years, deconditioning that part of my brain. My brain now goes to spaces that feel safe and that welcome me in ease, and that's not, restricted. And so that was another lesson. But I guess the most important lesson is for me to stop running from my purpose. For me to stop thinking that just because I have responsibilities does not mean that I'm supposed to neglect my purpose. Just because I have these human needs of having to take care of myself and, take care of another human being, because I have a daughter, she's 4. That does not mean that I am supposed to neglect my purpose. And every single time I move in the space of not following my spirit, and I'm moving in a place of ego, I get that lesson. I always talk about Papa Saturn. Papa Saturn. I always talk about Papa Saturn because Saturn is the lessoner. He's going to give you the lesson. That's the planet that, is going to show you, and he's going to strip you down to the bare minimum just so you can get the lesson. And I've been working with Saturn for a minute. I'm so aware of lessons, and I always look for the lesson. I always look for the roots of things, because for me, that is validating of the life experience. There's always a reason why we are going through the things that we are going through, why we are encountering the people we are encountering, why we are having the conversations that we are having. There is always a reason. And so Saturn has come in. It has said to me, it's time for you to get disciplined in this creativity. It's time for you to get disciplined in this purpose, in this walk. Saturn has come in and say, what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Now do it. And so I'm here. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have this platform. I'm grateful to see what it grows into. I am manifesting and I'm speaking so much love and abundance and so much growth and evolution and family and community. And I'm just speaking so much life into what I am creating right now. I'm grateful that you are here. I'm grateful that you decided to join me. I look forward to just all that I decide to create from just this moment in time. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing month whenever you're deciding to tune in. Remember that you are loved, you are love, and you are peace, and you are free. Ashe.